Hi viewers, welcome to my channel. The network you are viewing is a simple network, a network with one default layer 2 switch and two PCs. I can able to communicate these two PCs as these two PCs are in same network. It is not a big deal to communicate a device within the same network. The layer 2 switch simply maintains the MAC address table. The MAC address table maintains the entry of MAC address of a device and the corresponding port to which the device connected with. So when the switch receives the frame, it simply refers the MAC address table and forwards through the respective port. Not so difficult, right? But let me tell you a scenario. Apart from communicating to the devices within the network, if I want to communicate, if these devices wants to communicate another device or something server or whatever, which is present in the another network. Now, how these two devices are gonna communicate this server? This is where the layer 3 of TCP/IP model comes in. When we are saying layer 3, the well-known popular device is there, which is nothing but a router. This is the device going to perform the layer 3 routing between my network to my destination network. In this video, I am going to explain about the fundamental concepts and functions of the router. Come on viewers, let's know about the router. Unlike the layer 2 switch, connecting the Ethernet cable or serial cable alone to the router is not enough to make that router route. By default, every router's interface is in down state. So when you get a fresh router, the first thing you need to do is you have to enable the interface by giving no shutdown command in interface configuration mode. Let me do the same. I am giving the interface range, so it will be applied to both the interfaces. Now both the interfaces made and shut. To verify that, you can give show interfaces that particular interface. It will show the interface line protocol status. There is another command show IP interface brief. When you give this command, it will show the two status, and the first status represents the physical layer, the layer 1 status. If there is any issue with the physical cabling, this status will not come up. Then this obviously the second status will be down. And the second status is layer 2, data link protocol status. If you misconfigure the speed or duplex settings in your interface, it may lead to this issue. At the time, the physical status will be up and the data link layer status will be down. In such cases, you may check the speed and duplex settings. And the second thing you have to do is you need to assign the IP address for each interface, which is going to do routing. So the router will not support routing unless you unshut the interface and assign the IP address in the interface. Let me do the same. One simple command in the interface configuration mode to assign the IP address. And this gig000 interface will be acting as a gateway to my current PC network. I have one more interface to do. Now the configuration part is done. Let me verify the behavior. Let me verify the routing function of the router. I'm using the command, well-known command, show IP route, which will show the routing table in the layer 3 device. Though both router and layer 2 switches use IP routing table and the MAC address table respectively to take the forwarding decision, the address being used in both the tables differs. The MAC address table uses the layer 2 hardware address to forward the frames. Layer 3 device such as router uses the layer 3 logical IP address to forward the packet. These two addresses have some different properties. Actually, the layer 2 hardware address is the permanent address which is burned inside the network interface card of a device. Let's take this LAN switch. The LAN switch has multiple Ethernet ports. So each and every port contains its own hardware MAC address, and it will be unique and it must be unique. It may be a PC, laptop, network switch, router, mobile phone, tablet, whatever. It will be having its unique burned in MAC address. Hardware address is locally significant inside a network because since it is a unique address and it cannot be changed, these hardware MAC addresses will be used to identify the devices in the network. Unlike the MAC addresses, these IP addresses are not permanent. These are the temporary addresses which can be changed very easily. When it comes to network communication, logical IP addresses take the top. In the router, after enabling the interface and assigning IP address in the interface, it automatically started its routing function and learned the connected routes. In the router, two networks are connected. So my routing table denotes the connected routes with the character C. And the character L represents the local route, which is nothing but the IP address that we assigned in our interface. When I say the layer 3 devices such as router perform the routing, the layer 3 function, which doesn't mean it only performs the layer 3 operation. It also performs some layer 2 operations. To be honest, each and every network device which is sending the network data as binary digits over a physical link performs the layer 2 operations. I am going to explain the detailed fundamental function of router by tracing the frame and packet. Now, as I said before, this router learned the connected routes. So this network aware about this network and my network aware about my destination network. So I know the route, how to reach the destination network. Earlier this video I mentioned this router is acting as a gateway for my network. Yes, it is. But the gateway, it's like a entry point or exit point for a particular network. If a network packet wants to move to another network, in such case the gateway will come into the picture. As long as you need to communicate with the devices in same network, the gateway is not required. Let me ping my destination, the server. When I give this command, this PC generates the ICMP request packet. When it generates that packet, it will compare the destination IP address with its own IP address and the mask. Then this PC gets to know the destination is not belongs to this network. And in that case, it simply forwards that packet to the gateway because the PC know the gateway would be the exit point for the network. I'm showing the same in the simulation mode. Now the packet generated. As I said before, it simply forwarded to the gateway. The destination is recognized as a different network, so which is simply forwarding to the gateway. Now the ICMP packet is reached the gateway. When it received through the gigabit 00 port, it simply strips that Ethernet, the layer 2 Ethernet header and trailer, and the router verifies whether the frame has any error with this FCS field. If router finds any error in this FCS field, then it simply discards that frame. The router will not process that frame. Now the router has to take the layer 3 decision, which is nothing but the routing decision. It knows the destination IP. The next thing, it verifies the routing table. This particular network can be reached through gig 001 interface. So it get ready to pass the IP packet through this interface. But before passing through this interface, it has to get the hardware address. We can able to find the hardware address of the next hop easily. There is a command, show IP ARP. You may verify the ARP table. In this table, I can see the destination to which I need to forward the traffic. ARP table gives me the corresponding hardware address and the interface. Now the router can easily forward the IP packet to the destination network. It reached the destination and I am getting the response back. I got one reply. When a frame or packet flowing through a network, if it doesn't find the hardware address or the port where to forward, it simply uses the address resolution protocol to identify the hardware address. The network routes can be brought into IP routing table in three ways. The first way is it has to be connected directly with the device. In that case, the route will be automatically learned by the router and it will be represented as connected route. There are two more ways to put a route. The second way is static route. The admin can manually add a route into a routing table. Let's see this network. In this network, I brought another router in between, which actually gives me another network in the middle. When I see the routing table, the same router, I can only see the default connected routes. The route which belongs to my network and the route of the connected intermediate network. I don't know about this 172 network. This router actually has no idea about this network. Now my destination network somehow needs to be added in this routing table. So this is where the way 2 and 3 comes in, the static route and the dynamic route. In static routing, I am manually adding the route. Actually, I am saying the router to reach the destination. The command is IP route and the destination network. Now, if you give the question mark, it will show you the list of options you can use. I'm going to use the next hop address here. The next hop address is this one, 168.1.1. Okay. Now I need to add the metric. By static route, for the static routes by default, the administrative distance value is 1. So I am giving the same. Now the route accepted. Now I can see there is a route for my destination network. The letter denoted as S, which is nothing but static. Now this router has the idea how to reach this network. Let's check the status in the router 2. Similar to router 1, it has the connected routes learned by default, and this router doesn't know how to reach my PC network. So we have to guide the router manually by adding the static route. Same IP route command. The destination network is dot, and the next hop. The next hop is 1.2 and my admin distance. The route is taken. Now I statically added the route in my routing table. Let me do a testing. The first two packets were dropped because of the ARP request. It is reachable. I am verifying a layer 7 service HTTP. Yes, it is reachable. Now my PC is sending traffic through the layer 2 switch and 2 routers, and it is finally reaching the destination server and fetching the information back to this PC. This is what I thought to explain. This is how a basic network router functions. I hope at least you learned something from this video. If I am correct, please hit the like button and consider subscribing my YouTube channel, and do not forget to hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I am posting the video. And also, if you wish, you can share this video with your friends. Take care of yourself. Thank you friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye.